What is going on, Crimson City? My name is Crimson CBAD, and I am coming to you today as the coach of your Detroit-type Nulls, coming hard, coming strong into Season 4 of the NPA, the National Pokemon Association. I'm really looking forward to this season with the NPA. Shout out to the guys and girls for having me as a part of this. I'm really looking forward to it. You can check out the NPA channel in the description of this video. You guys can check out more league content as well. The GBA and the APA are both going on. A playlist to both of those will be in the description of this video if you guys would like to check that out as well. We are here to talk about our draft in this season of the NPA. Your Detroit-type Nulls, Unleash the Beast, are coming for that championship, baby. I am excited. I am ready. I think we got the team to do it this season. So if you guys are excited, show some love on that like button down below. If you're new, feel free to subscribe as well. Let me know your thoughts on our team in the comment section of the video as well. We went second overall in the draft, so we pretty much got everything except for one thing, which I was okay with. Obviously, first round in the draft, we saw a drive in the Minnesota Vikavolt to grab Mega Mawile. Now, I've never used Mega Mawile in League format, so I can't say I missed it out too much. So pretty much in a standard tiering set, we have access to everything on the menu. Anything we want on the menu. And I've seen this Pokemon around so many times. I have always had trouble dealing with it every time. And I was like, you know what? It's time for people to have trouble dealing with me, baby. It is time. So first up for the Detroit-type Nulls, we are grabbing Liftoff. The Celesteela Liftoff is here as just an incredibly powerful Pokemon. We can talk about Celesteela here really quickly. Dual types are Steel and Flying. It has the Beast Boost ability, which if you guys are not familiar with that, Pokemon's highest stat is raised by 1 if it attacks and knocks out another Pokemon. So, like Leech Seed, if it goes for that and that Leech Seed recovery kills it, it won't give a Beast Boost. But obviously, if I hurt the Pokemon and it does it like that, then we do get the Beast Boost. And it has very well-rounded stats, too, to take advantage of the Beast Boost ability. Obviously, you guys see its speed is not anything super cool, but it does have the ability to go for a Totemize, which boosts the speed stat by 2 stages, which is very, very nice. So any of our other stats can take attack, defense, special attack, and special defense. All 4 of those can take advantage of the Beast Boost, given any circumstance, any week coming out of it. So I'm really looking forward to Celesteela. We can talk about, item usage on it. You see things like Leftovers. You see things like Resistance Berries. You see things like Expert Belts. I imagine something like Big Root, Giga Drain, and Leech Seed could be very useful as well. I don't know if I'm ever man enough to run AV Celesteela, but we'll see. Life Orb. It could be a Life Orb attack. It could be Rocky Helmets for any Pokemon that feel like switching around on it. Its moveset is very diverse, and that's what I think makes it so awesome. It obviously does share the same typing as Skarmory, which I believe serves its own purpose, even though it's similar typing in a similar tier. I do think Celesteela is much, much, much better off. I think it is much more well-rounded. And I think pairing it with the right team really gives it offensive momentum in League format. I really think that, given circumstances, Celesteela has a chance to sweep almost every week. We can take a look at its moveset right here. Obviously, we talked about 101 attack, 107 special attack. So obviously, it's going to hit a little bit harder on the special side, but it can still hit very hard on the physical side. Let's take a look at its moveset here. Acrobatics, power doubles if the user has no held items. So that goes from a base 55 power move to a base 110 stab move from Celesteela, which is incredible. Air Slash is a very common move you see ran on this thing. 95% accuracy, 75% base power, 30% chance to flinch. So, I mean, it's Pokemon. It's the game we play. A Totemize. Totemize, obviously, so if someone was going for like a low kick on Celesteela and we Totemize, low kicks damage is reduced because we lose 100 kilograms. I don't know how to calc that, but that's what damage calcs are for. But it does raise the user speed by 2, which is very nice. So if we are at let's take a look right here. 81 speed right here is where we're sitting at, uninvested, no positive nature, none of that, just the 31 IVs. That increased our speed stat to 162, so we're outspeeding anything that hits 161 or lower at that point, which is very nice to know. Earthquake, it has Earthquake for those pesky Magnezones and Magnetons that feel like trapping it. It does not. We hit Earthquake on those things. Energy Ball is very nice, hits those ground water type Pokemon, hits the rock type Pokemon that could obviously plague us otherwise if we're running a special set without Earthquake. Explosion! Its Liftoff is going to blow up at some point this season. I can feel it. Fire Blast is really cool. Flame Charge is a very niche move. 100% accuracy, 100% chance to raise my speed stat by 1, giving me even greater potential to sweep. Flamethrower, less powerful Fire Blast, more accurate Fire Blast. Flash Cannon, very powerful stat move as well. Typically like Flash Cannon, Air Slash, you will see on Celesteela, things like that. We talked about Giga Drain. We talked about Giga Drain on this Pokemon. Does give it a little bit of recovery. Outside of the leftovers, like holding leftovers and Giga Drain and Leech Seed, this thing does not have like Recover, Moonlight, Morning Sun, things like that. Grass Knot, more powerful the heavier the target. So again, something like a Mega Swampert, something like a very heavy rock-type Pokemon. Things like that, Grass Knot could be really good for. Heavy Slam. Celesteela is... How much does Celesteela weigh? How much does Celesteela weigh, really quickly? Let's find this out. Celesteela weighs 999.9 kilograms, 2,204 pounds. I don't know, how many pounds are in a ton? LB to ton. How many pounds are in a ton? That is 1.1 ton of Celesteela. That is a ton of fun right there. Heavy Slam is gonna hurt everything that is not a bulky Pokemon itself. More powerful, the heavier the user than the target. Celesteela obviously being one of the heaviest Pokemon around. It also is powerful stab. Also coming off a base 101 attack is very nice. Obviously has access to the powers. Iron Head. We talked about Leech Seed. Rest, that's the recovery I forgot to mention. Rest is also a recovery that it gets. Gets Rock Slide, it gets Seed Bomb, Stone Edge, Superpower. Obviously Toxic could be very niche in case people switch in things like, you know, Eviolite users or bulky or non-poison type or steel type Pokemon. We can go for a Toxic and wear those things down. Zen Headbutts. Are there any other flies? Z-Fly could be very nice. This thing is incredible as far as a Z-move user too. The NPA does allow all offensive Z-Crystals on any Pokemon, so any of our team can run a Z-Crystal any week as long as it is offensive. Ingrain can be really cool. Iron Defense, Raising Defense, Magnet Rise, even though we already are a flying type Pokemon. Metal Sound lowers target special defense by 2. Smart Strike, Stomping Tantrum as well. So it does have quite the variety of moves on both the physical and the special side. Can be a very niche Pokemon for also a defensive core as well. So I'm really looking forward to using Liftoff. I think it is an incredibly powerful Pokemon. I think it is so worthy of a first-round draft pick, in my opinion. And now we're going to talk about... So there's obviously 24 coaches. We have 47. We have a lot of picks. Like almost 50 Pokemon are going to go before we get our go back at this. So pairing with Celesteela. Celesteela makes for a very powerful Fairy Dragon Steel Core. The first Pokemon, you guys already see it on the... You guys already see it up there. But the first thing that I thought of was Mega Gardevoir. I thought Mega Gardevoir was really cool. It's really hard with Psychic. We would need a Dragon to pair with that, obviously. We would need we'd need some other stuff for it, but there is a Mega Pokemon that has caught my eye, and I have always wanted to try it out. I think in 6th Gen is when it saw its prime, and obviously the Pixelate nerf, it was kind of nerfed in Gen 7. However, it still hits so incredibly hard. Is an incredibly useful Pokemon, both physically and both offensively and defensively. Does have cleric abilities as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain for the Detroit type Nulls this season, we have Commander, the Mega Altaria. She is coming this season, and I am excited. I am so excited. Mega Altaria, the Dragon Fairy type Pokemon with the Pixelate ability. So incredible. 75 base HP, 110 attack, defense, special attack, 105 special defense, 80 base speed. So the reason I say Mega Altaria got nerfed in Gen 7, obviously so Altaria, going from Altaria to Mega Altaria, there is no speed change. It gains more bulk and more offense, but it does not gain a speed change. So with that Pixelate nerf, it really did get nerfed in Gen 7, but I am excited to show everybody the power of the Commander. I am so ready for this. Commander's an incredible Pokemon. We can go ahead and talk about it. Like I said, the Steel typing with Celesteela on top of the Dragon and Fairy in Commander, that allows us for more diversity on the team while covering our own typing that we do have on the team. You guys can already see I'm going to say something, and you guys are going to look at the team, and you guys are going to say, but Crimson CBAD, didn't you just say this? I typically don't like doubling up on types. I typically like having enough types to cover my move pool. You guys can obviously see already we did not do that this draft. But... getting two Pokemon that cover a Fairy Steel Dragon Core was something that really helped us out, giving us a lot of momentum carrying forward on this team. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk a little bit about the Commander here. Commander, Mega Altaria, excuse me. Tons of setup moves, tons of special moves, tons of physical moves, tons of cleric moves. Incredible Pokemon. Can set up with agility. Has Body Slam. Body Slam and a Pixelate with a 30% chance to paralyze can be very nice speed control to have against the opposing team. Giving it that Pixelate boost, giving all normal type. I didn't even talk about Pixelate. Pixelate, the Pokemon's normal type moves become Fairy type and have 1.2 times the power. So, very good to note. Very good to note. Body Slam becomes that. Cotton Guard raises the user defense by 3 stages. 3 stages. That is impressive. That is impressive. Cotton Guard, Mega Altaria could definitely see something coming. Dazzling Gleam, typically you see like Hyper Voice ran. but Dazzling Gleam is still there. It is a defog user. That is something to note. It is a defog user. Celesteela is not a defog user. So second turn right out the gate. Second overall pick. We already got hazard removal. Double Edge. Pixelate Double Edge. Very, very scary. Draco Meteor. Very powerful stab type. Very powerful stab dragon type move. You guys already know. Lowers user special attack by 2. We could run a mixed Mega Altaria, something like that. Dragon Claw. Very powerful physical type dragon type move. Dragon Dance. Raising our attack and speed by 1. Like I said, so we're only in the D's of the moves, and it's already got 3 set of moves. Agility, Cotton Guard, and Dragon Dance. So Dragon Pulse. Special dragon type move. You don't want to run Meteor. Earthquake. Great physical type move. Facade, in case we get burned and all of a sudden we start running physical pick. Facade. Facade is very nice, especially with that Pixelate boost, especially if we do get burned, paralyzed, or toxic poisoned, or poisoned in general. Fire Blast and Flamethrower, 2 really good Pokemon, 2 really good coverages to have against those pesky steel types that would plague us otherwise. Same thing with Earthquake. Frustration, same thing with Return for a physical set. I would run one of those just to make sure we take advantage of the Pixelate ability if we do get nerfed by a burn or something. Facade is obviously the better choice. Haze, eliminating all the stat changes. If you feel like setting up in front of a Mega Altaria, which I don't know why you ever would, we've got Haze for you. We're coming for you. We are coming for you. We can use Haze, eliminate all the stat changes, which is incredible. Heal Bell, cures the user's party of all status conditions. You mean to tell me this thing can not only set up on your face physically, this thing can set up defensively, this thing can outspeed your whole team, your mama, your grandmama, your uncle, but it can also cleric everything as well. It has Heat Wave, it has Hone Claws, raising the attack and accuracy by 1 stage. We're not missing Dracos, and everything else is just gonna hurt like hell. Hyper Voice, as we talked about, Pixelate Hyper Voice. Take a look what you see. Ice Beam, really good coverage to have against other, against like things like Landorus Therian, things like that. Ice Beam is also good coverage to have. Moonblast, Outrage, Perish Song, forcing traps. Play Rough is another thing we could do for physical fairy type moves in case we don't feel like using the return and all that other good stuff. It's a Pursuit Trapper. It has Refresh. It cures its own stuff. I don't need to worry about anybody else. Commander's worried about herself. She can use Refresh right there, which is absolutely incredible. We talked about Return. It has Recovery and Roost. Come on now. Come on. It can Roar. We can phase things over hazards. It can set up Tailwind support. Guys, come on. I'm just saying. Usually useless moves. Air Cutter? Kind of. Let's see if there's anything under here. Dragon Rush. It's time. Dragon Rush. Feather Dance. Seeing if there's anything else down here that I want to talk about. Mirror Move could be really niche. Power Swap. Steel Wing. Shout out to the Detroit Steel Wings. Whoever their coach is. I heard he's pretty handsome. This Pokemon is amazing. I'm so looking forward to seeing what the Commander can do this season. I've looked forward to using Mega Altaria for so long, and I'm so excited that I get the chance to use her. Incredibly powerful Pokemon, very diverse, as you guys can already see that we've been talking about. I'm really looking forward to using this. Next up, we do have kind of a pseudo wheel. Next up with the Minnesota Vikavolt, they get their wheel pick, and then we get one of ours. Something that hits very hard with the typing that we already have. Like, what resists all of this? Oh, I know, this typing right here. We have another fast Pokemon that also did receive a little bit of a nerf in Gen 7, but I'm really looking forward to bringing her. I've seen so many people use her so well. Very niche Pokemon, has incredible diversity as far as a moveset goes. While it's not too bulky, a little bit more of a glass cannon, it does have incredible support and incredible special prowess on the team. Samantha the Gengar is coming to the Detroit type Nulls this season. Give it up. Yeah, round of applause. Samantha is here, Ghost and Poison type. Fast Ghost and Poison type, I should say as well. The Cursed Body ability, when I say it got nerfed in Gen 7, for those of you who don't know, previously before Generation 7, Gengar had the Levitate ability, giving it immunity to ground type moves, which also gave it an immunity to switching in on things like spikes. The Levitate ability also prevented it from picking up toxic spikes, so I guess that's kind of a benefit, is that now that because it's a grounded poison type, it does absorb toxic spikes from the opponent. So, like double-edged sword. 60 HP, 65 attack, 60 defense, 75 special defense. Like I said, nothing too crazy as far as like a defensive Pokemon goes. 130 base attack and 110 speed are great, are fantastic, and it has a diverse move pool we can talk about. Obviously, it does have access to the Black Sludge item because it's poison type, leftovers for poison types, Black Sludge, but you can trick those away and start hindering out some Pokemon, so that's just something to know. Trick Black Sludge could be something, but let's go ahead and talk about a little bit of our Samantha here. Let's talk about the moveset, talk about how well Gengar does as a Pokemon and what it can do for us in League format. First thing right here, Brick Break. Destroys screens unless the target is immune. In case somebody brings Veil, in case somebody brings Light Screen, in case somebody brings Reflect, Gengar comes in and says nope to all those. Clear Smog eliminates the target stat changes, so it takes advantage of the already tremendous 130 base special attack. Connects every time, and it has base 50 power and it eliminates stat changes, which is very nice. Dark Pulse, I don't know why we'd run Dark Pulse. Simply because dark types hit what? Psychic super effectively and Ghost super effectively. You know what else hits Psychic and Ghost super effectively? Shadow Ball. So Dark Pulse, I don't see ever bringing, but it is something to note as far as the wide variety of coverage that it does have. Dazzling Gleam is something that I do see bringing at some point. Fairy coverage is very nice. For whatever reason, in case the commander doesn't come this week, or in case, you know, the commander is enabled to battle. Commander never goes down in battle. Commander just doesn't choose to battle. That's how that works. But Dazzling Gleam could be nice. Destiny Bond. If I die, you die. You're coming with me. Samantha's bringing you down with her if you choose to. I definitely will run a Destiny Bond Gengar set at some time in the season, that's for sure. Disable. For 4 turns, disables the target last move use. That could be very, very nice to prevent setup sweepers. That could be very nice for also working with Cursed Body as well. Cursed Body and Disable. All of a sudden, they've got 2 of their moves disabled. What you gonna do now? So that could be something very, very cool there. Physical Gengar with Drain Punch, Energy Ball, 10% chance to lower the target special defense by 1. Base 90 power Grass type move. It's awesome for those water ground types that are typically seen as more defensive walls. Being able to take those things down could be very, very cool. Explosion, Facade, Fire Punch, yada yada. Focus Blast could be a Fight EMZ move. I don't like those 70% accurate moves, but Focus Blast, it does have coverage for that. For those steel types that could potentially plague us otherwise, does have access to Foul Play. Giga Drain is also very nice too for recovery outside of that. Haze, we talked about Haze, the importance of that with Commander, being able to eliminate all the target stat changes. Hex, being able to pair that with something like Toxic Spikes, being able to pair that with something like Will-O-Wisp, doubling that to a total of 130 base power move. Incredible. Obviously, you see things like Hidden Power. Does have knockoff there for the utility if need be. Like I said, it's not a physical attacker, but having knockoff there could be very beneficial to us in the long run. Nightshade doing damage equal to the user's level. Ghost type Seismic Toss. I like it. Pain Split there for also recovery. Perish Song. We talked about the importance of that. We talked about the niche set of that with Commander there. Perish Song can be nice. Has access to Psychic too, so fighting type Pokemon that we're not running Dazzling Gleam for, Psychic could definitely do a number to them. Also other poison type Pokemon that might otherwise sit in front of us. Rest, Return, Seismic Toss, yada yada. Shadow Ball, very spammable move if you don't have an immunity. With that 20% chance to lower the target's SPDEF by 1, as soon as you get a SPDEF drop, you're not really a resistance anymore there, guy. You're not really a resistance there anymore. Sludge Bomb, 30% chance to poison the target. Sludge Wave, 10% chance to poison, but you get that extra 5 power. Sludge Wave is Event Gengar, so that is something to note, just for throwing that out there, that it is, you know, you do have to run Event Gengar for that, but that's hearsay for that. Substitute Sucker Punch for the priority could be very niche. I do anticipate on running Sucker Punch at least twice this season. Taunt, it's a fast taunt user, base 110 speed. You having access to taunt is really cool. Thunderbolt, also really good coverage. Toxic, it's a poison type, and don't miss, it's Toxics. And then Will-O-Wisp support. Trick and Will-O-Wisp support are also very nice to have on this Pokemon. Being able to cripple a Pokemon if we're like a Scarf Gengar set or a Specs Gengar set, or like I said, Trick Black Sludge. Will-O-Wisp is there to nerf physical threats as well. Halving their attack stat, which is really cool. 85% accuracy is oh so wonderful, but Gengar with Will-O-Wisp is really, really cool. Counter Gengar. Curse. You can run like a Curse set. Do you get Infestation? You do get Infestation. Infestation Curse Gengar can definitely come. Icy Wind. Good Ice type move here. 95% accurate, but it does allow us for some speed control, which is really, really cool. Reflect type Gengar. Not seeing too much else with that. Venoshock, Zap Cannon, Z-Zap Cannon. So being able to have offensive crystals on this thing could really, really be useful as far as especially offensive Pokemon can go. We know Celesteela can abuse those crystals. Now Gengar's another Pokemon that not only hits very hard outside of having access to the offensive Z crystals, but just giving it the access to have those offensive Z crystals is so awesome. Ghost EMZ, Electrium Z, Grass EMZ, all that good stuff. I can definitely see Samantha coming quite frequently, actually, and being a key player on the Detroit side Nulls this season. Next up here, coming all the way back, Cortex the Uxie, making their debut with the type Nulls. Very bulky Psychic type Pokemon, you know. We went with some bulk, we went with some offense, we got some more bulk right here. Let's talk a little bit about Uxie right here. Cortex has base defenses of 130, 75 everything else, 95 speed. So the ground immunity with the levitate ability. Pairing nice with Gengar if they feel like an Earthquake. Obviously, we have things like Mega Altaria before evolution. We have Celesteela, but this is also a ground immunity, which is very, very nice. Let's talk a little bit about Uxie and what it does for the team. Giving it that extra defensive and special defensive bulk pairs very nicely with something like Celesteela. It pairs very nicely with something like Mega Altaria. It does also give access for those Pokemon to set up, and I'll talk a little bit about that right here. We can talk a little bit about its moveset right here, and as we go down it, I'll talk about what it does for the team. Can set up with Calm Mind. We see 75 attack and special attack, so it can run either way. So acrobatics right here. Excuse me, if we don't have our item, all of a sudden, boom, that's 110 base power move. Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Extra Sensory. Fire Punch could be very, very niche. Foul Play is very nice to have on the team. Foul Play attacks are always really cool just because it uses the target's attack stat and damage calculation. So it's not coming off of our attack stat, it's coming off of like their attack stat, so that's very, very useful to have. Giga Drain can be really nice. Grass Knot can be cool. We have another Cleric on the team, another Heal Bell user, which is very nice to have. Ice Punch we talked about. With same thing with Fire Punch, could just be a nice niche move to have. Knockoff for the utility as well, coming off of, like I said, knockoff on Uxie I feel like is more common to bring the knockoff on Gengar just because it shares the same attack and special attack stats, whereas Gengar obviously comes off of a base 130 special attack to a base 65 base 65 attack stat, so it's probably more often than not to see Uxie with knockoff. Does have the ability to set up screens. It's a very reliable screen setter, which is nice. It can magic coat back certain moves, so if I'm leading against somebody and I don't have rocks, but I know they're going for rocks, I click magic coat, I can bounce back rocks, I can bounce back anything that's a non-damaging move. Status ailments, status afflictions. What am I trying to say here? Moves, moves that drop the status, like if I like Memento, I can bounce back Memento, which will be really, really cool. I hope that's how that works. Speaking of Memento, I can get Memento with Uxie right there. Lowers the target's attack and special attack by 2. User feints, allowing for something like Celesteela, Mega Altaria, or anything else on our roster to set up and take down an opponent. Psychic and Psyshock are cool. Reflect, we talk about the reliability of Uxie as a screen setter. Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, it is a reliable rock setter as well, so now we do have a form of hazards on the team. Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, Thunder Wave, Toxic, Trick Room, U-Turn, and Zen Headbutt. There's a lot of moves right here. Very reliable rock setter. Thunderbolt, good coverage to have. Bolt Beam is always very nice to have. Thunder Wave, good speed control, 90% accurate move. That yellow color, man, that yellow color. Toxic, good Toxic user. It can trick items too, so if I have like a Scarf Uxie and I want to cripple your Umbreon or something like that, I click Trick, bada bing, bada boom, your Pokemon is no longer useful, and I get whatever item you previously had. Very incredibly reliable Trick Room setter, which we can talk about a little bit later on the roster if we ever do bring that. U-Turn is good for the momentum as well, being able to turn out of things like that. Obviously, having a base 95 speed, we won't always get the slow turn out of there, but it is always nice to have just in case. Go through the usually useless moves and just make sure there's nothing down here that I could bring. Potentially, Psych Up, Rain Dance, Sandstorm, Shockwave. Skill Swap could be something cool. Skill Swap I have brought before. I could definitely see that. Yawn as well is another very niche move to have as well. So I think this Pokemon provides a lot of, I think it provides a very solid glue to the team. I think it provides a lot of potential for pairing with things like the Mega Altaria and the Celesteela, both for doing an incredible amount of damage to the opposing team. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Uxie does. Next up here, and we're going down the order of how they were drafted. So with 24 coaches, in round 4, I saw 4 tier 4 Pokemon go round 4. I have never seen that before, ever. I've seen some tier 2 and tier 3 goes early, but I've never seen a tier 4 Pokemon go as early as they did. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, we really need to get a solid tier 5 Pokemon. I was like, we really need to get a solid tier 5 Pokemon. There's not too many that I personally enjoy using, let alone that I'm super comfortable with. So I wanted to go with something that I felt I could use to the best of my ability, as well as grabbing the best overall pick from tier 5 in my opinion. Now, this is obviously subject. People could say, oh, well, this Pokemon was good. Oh, well, this Pokemon was good. I went with what I felt would have been not only coveted, but also worked well with my team. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Blondie the Piloswine. She is making her debut with the Detroit Side Nulls this season. Blondie is a incredibly powerful Pokemon. Discount Mamoswine, I've referred to it as several times, but we can talk a little bit about it. It's an Eviolite user, so we are getting more bulk. We are getting more bang for our buck. We talked about the Trick Room possibilities with things like Uxie, and Trick Room possibilities with things like Celesteela. This is another Pokemon that could abuse that with that base 50 speed. 100 HP and 100 attack. 80 defense and 60 special defense don't seem too much, but it does have access to the Eviolite item, which increases its defense and special defense by an extra 50%, which is always nice. It has the Oblivious ability. It cannot be infatuated or taunted. And so if we can lead rocks, someone taunts us, I can still click rocks. The Snow Cloak ability, if Hail is active, the Pokemon's evasiveness is increased by 25%. So in case we ever go up against the Snow team, we can bring Snow Cloak. And then Thick Fed is also really cool pairing with the Eviolite. Ice and Fire type moves, while not super, we don't take them super well. Thick Fed in the Eviolite allows us to take it a little bit better. Something on Piloswine that we could run. We'll talk about its useful moveset. Avalanche, Body Slam, Earthquake. Obviously, Earthquake you're always going to see on something like a Piloswine or a Mamoswine. Endeavor could be really, really nice. Focus Sash, Endeavor, Piloswine, something like that. Freeze Dry, being able to hit those water type moves that would otherwise plague our team. Freeze Dry could be really, really cool. Ice Fang, 10% chance to freeze, 10% chance to flinch. Would probably run Icicle Crash over that, but Ice Shard. Priority move in Ice Shard, which is really nice. Ice Stab is always good to have on the team. Icicle Crash, 30% chance to flinch the target, 85 base power. Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear could be something ran in case of like a Resistance Berry, in case of something like needing to break a sub and get some more damage off. That could be really cool as well. Can also set up screens. Toss that out there. Can also set up the screens. It can roar things around. It has Rock Slide, Stealth Rock, Stone Edge. Very reliable rock setter. Takes the pressure off of something like Uxie, force setting the rocks for us. And being able to move around things on hazards, similar to how Mega Altaria can be very nice. Superpower, Toxic, things like that. Let me double check and make sure there's no other niche moves that I'm forgetting. Rock Tomb for speed control. Yeah, that's as far as it goes. Piloswine, like I said, you typically see it as more of like a discounted Mamoswine set, but having access to that Eviolite makes it incredibly bulky. I thought coming out of Tier 5, it was going to go very well with our team. I thought that it was just overall best for us. We do now have an electric immunity to kind of help with so Celesteela's two big weaknesses, obviously electric and fire. Commander handles that fire weakness very, very well, and now the electric immunity is covered by Piloswine. So that is something to note there. Just being able to patch up some weaknesses. Obviously, not having as many coaches as we have makes it harder to cover all of our typings in a very comfortable manner, but I feel like we've got, a good defensive core that we can pair with select offensive mons each and every week. So coming back, wanted a little bit more physical pressure. Piloswine is cool as a physical attacker. You often see it as more of a bulkier Pokemon with a physical attack. Celesteela could be a physical attacker, often seen more special. Don't want Commander to be a physical attacker every week. Very solid physical attacker right here. A very slept on Pokemon in League format, I feel. I'd like to introduce you to Blink the Scrafty. He is coming on this roster this season. He has 3 incredible abilities in League format. And one of the reasons why I say it's a very slept on Pokemon in League format is because of its 3 abilities: Shedskin, Moxie, and Intimidate. Shedskin, 33% chance to have its status cured at the end of each turn. So a rest set with Shedskin could be very nice with things like Curse, with things like Dragon Dance. With the Shedskin as well. Moxie, the Pokemon's attack is raised by 1 stage if it attacks and knocks out another Pokemon, so we do have the potential for a Moxie sweep. Intimidate, on switch, and this Pokemon lowers the attack of adjacent opponents by 1 stage. So 3 fantastic abilities in League format. I can't say enough good things about Scrafty as far as its abilities go. Let's take a little look at its stats right here. 58 speed, nothing too crazy. Typically, you need like 2 Dragon Dances up to start like outspeeding a lot of things, but 1 Dragon Dance up, I believe it. Let's see. You are max speed, positive nature. So after 1 Dragon Dance here, we're outspeeding anything that tops off at 180 or lower. So you will need to see, like I said, +2. I mean, then again, anything at +2, anything at +2 starts doing a tremendous amount of damage. But +1 could be very nice. Also, having that 58 base speed does allow us a little bit more Trick Room comfortability if we do need it. Let's talk a little bit about its moveset right here. Typically, you see, 90 attacks, 45 special attack, so you're going to see a lot more physical moves on Scrafty. I really don't think I've ever seen special Scrafty run. If anybody's that lordly, let me know. If not, no worries. But 115 in both defenses make it an incredible, incredible Pokemon. That special defense, 115 special defense, typically when you see, like, Fairy-type moves, they are special, so, like, the right set on a Scrafty can, like, live a Fairy-type move, which is really nice. Does have access to Brick Break, destroying screens. It's Stab, Bulk Up for setting up, raising the attack and defense by 1 stage. Crunch, very powerful Dark type move. Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance for setting up, as we talked about. Dragon Tail for phasing things out over the hazards that we've previously talked about with things like Piloswine and Mega Altaria. Drain Punch for the recovery. Fake Out for priority. Facade in case we get burned and we don't have the Shed Skin there. Fire Punch, very good coverage to have. Focus Punch, don't see us bringing that unless it's like a Z Focus Punch sets. Foul Play, like I talked about Foul Play earlier. Foul Play is always good to have on a team. Grass Knot could be very niche if need be. Head Smash. Z Head Smash, anybody? High Jump Kick, 130 base power, 90% accuracy. Ice Punch, very good coverage to have. Iron Head, Knockoff is incredible. Obviously coming off a stab move after a setup, things really don't want to start taking +1 and +2 knockoffs. Low Kick is really good for heavier Pokemon, things like Registeel, things like Steelix. Poison Jab, Power Punch, another good way to set up. Protect, we talked about Rest, pairing in with that Shed Skin. If we bring like a Rest, Curse, Rest, Bulk Up, or not Curse, Rest, Dragon Dance, Rest, Bulk Up set, something like that could happen. Roar, in case you don't feel like missing with Dragon Tail, we can go for Roar and phase things out over the hazards. Rock Slide is good to have. Stone Edge is good to have. Sub is good to have. Super Fang is a very niche move to have on this thing. I really, really like it because it does damage equal to half the target's current HP. So it is Nature's Madness, for those of you who don't know. 90% accurate, which is really cool. Obviously not hitting those Ghost-type Pokemon, but for wearing down those very bulky Pokemon that we can't touch otherwise, getting 50% damage off on that is really cool. Being able to taunt Pokemon is also cool. It's a slow taunt, unfortunately, but having access to taunt is always nice. Thunder Punch, good as well. Toxic is good as well to carry for wearing down those bulkier Pokemon. Zen Headbutt, 20% chance to flinch the target. Powerful Psychic type move with 80 base power. Counter, Giga Impact. I'm making sure I don't miss any other Smackdown could be cool, removing the target's ground immunity. Throat Chop, for 2 turns the targets can't use sound moves, so if you feel comfortable going into your Sylveon, going for your Hyper Voice, if I predict that and click Throat Chop, I don't really know what else to say right there. I do think that Scrafty is going to be cool. Like I said, we do have a good defensive core, and I think just taking Pokemon in and out and replacing them for their niche purposes, I think it's going to be what we do this season in the NPA. Next up here, pairing with a lot of the Pokemon that we've talked about. We've talked a little bit about Trick Room. We've talked about Pokemon that can abuse those lower speeds. Here's something else that I do want to bring to the team, as well as try out for the first time. We're bringing Crimson Seabug, the Araquanid. So Araquanid did get a little bit of a boost in Ultra Sun and Moon, having access to Sticky Web now. So speed control could be very nice. Another bulky Pokemon. We do see, 92 defense, 132 special defense, 42 speed, nothing too crazy. But something I do want to talk about with Araquanid. Water Bubble. The Pokemon's water power is 2 times, and it cannot be burned, and fire power against it is halved. So Water Bubble is an incredible ability for fire-type Pokemon going up against it. The water-type moves that it does get access to is incredible. You're going to see something like Liquidation on here instead with that base 70 attack, but you could also see Special Araquanid with that base 50, being able to take advantage of moves like Scald and stuff with that. So let's talk a little bit about Araquanid, talk about its moveset. Giving us access to that Sticky Web will allow us a little bit more speed control, which is nice. Does have access to Crunch. Facade, I don't ever see bringing, just because we can't be burned by Water Bubble unless it's like Mold Breaker, Will-O-Wisp, which I don't think there's any combination of Pokemon that get Mold Breaker and Will-O-Wisp. Someone can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. We could be Toxic, so Toxic Facade Araquanid could be really cool. Giga Drain, we talked about the advantage of Special Araquanid. There's not the world's biggest difference in the base attack and special attack, so Giga Drain could be cool. Ice Beam, Leech Life is cool. It is Stab, it is Recovery. It does come off of that base 70 attack, which is nice. Liquidation, like I talked about, 20% chance to lower the target's defense by 1. Is really cool. With that Water Bubble ability, just makes it so incredibly powerful. Lunge, 100% chance to lower the target's attack by 1, so it's very similar to Serena's Trop Kick in the fact that it isn't a signature move, but it does have that chance to lower the attack set, which is nice. Does have Magic Coat as well, which is cool. Poison Jab for any Fairy type or Grass type Pokemon that feel comfortable against it. Obviously, the Bug Stab doing better against the Grass type Pokemon, but just wanted to throw that out there. Can set up Reflect, which is really cool. We've got another screen setter. Scald and Signal Beam. We talked about the possibility of a Special Araquanid. Sleep Talk could be really cool. Sticky Web. We discussed Sticky Web as a possibility. Lowering the speed of grounded foes by 1 on Switch-In could be cool. Surf, we talked about that. Surf and Scald, obviously, powered up by that Water Bubble going off of that special attack stat. Toxic, Waterfall, X-Scissor. Waterfall and X-Scissor, 2 more powerful stab moves that do come off. Toxic being able to wear down Pokemon that could otherwise feel comfortable staying in against an Araquanid. Aqua Ring for recovery. Frost Breath is always a crit. Could help out with that special attack. Icy Wind again for more speed control. Mirror Coat could be really cool if hit by a special attack. Returns double damage. I'm looking forward to that. Power Split averages the attack and special attack stats, so that could power us up, which could be really cool, setting up the rain for itself. Spiderweb, being able to trap that, like Infestation, Toxic with Araquanid could be really, really cool. Soak, being able to change the target's type to water, so it does have a lot of niche moves, does have a lot of good coverage, I feel like, for the format that we are playing in, and does add quite a bit to the team. I'm really looking forward to it. Very slow bug-type Pokemon, and the reason I make that as my last comment on Araquanid is because, let me just double-check. Boop, boop. I want to make sure we got the wheels right. Coming back all the way around. We have an incredibly fast Pokemon, and I'm really looking forward to using it. I've never used it before, and it's always one of those Pokemon, again, similar to Celesteela, where I'm like, we got to prep for that, don't we? We got to prep for that. Shuriken! The Excelgor is making his way onto the roster this season. I'm so looking forward to it. Let's talk about the abilities really quickly. Hydration, status cure to the end if each turn if Rain Dance is active, so for whatever reason we can abuse someone's Rain. Sticky Hold, Pokemon cannot lose its held item due to another Pokemon's attack, which is also really cool. Unburden, speed is doubled on held item loss. Boost is lost if it switches or gets a new item or ability. So, Unburden is really cool, because we have 145 base speed. So, we see our first typing double up right here with 2 bug Pokemon being drafted back to back, but both of them serve their own purposes. The Crimson Seabug, the Araquanid, obviously being able to do things like hit more physically, being able to provide a bit more of bulk. Excelgor provides a more special offense and does allow us the ability to hazard stack, which is really cool. So 100 special attack is very nice. 145 speed is incredible. We can go ahead and talk about its moveset here really quickly. Does have Acid Spray, 100% chance to lower the target special defense by +2. That could be niche. Agility and Baton Pass. That could be really, really cool. Where agility already 145 base speed, which could be incredible. Bug Buzz is good stab to have on this thing. Encore could be very useful for helping against Pokemon that are setting up on us otherwise. Energy Ball, 10% chance to lower the target special defense by 1. Final Gambit does damage equal to the user's HP and feints, so not to be confused with Endeavor. This would be like a lead Final Gambit set, something like that, where you're just like, you know what, I'm going to sack this to damage you and get you out of here. Focus Blast can be very cool. Again, being paired with that. Something that we didn't talk about with Araquanid is the ability to have, you know, the Buginium Z, the Waterium Z, things like that. Something that we could run with this could be like a Fightium Z Focus Blast thing on Excelgor. Could be really cool. Knockoff is really nice for the utility. Leech Life is there. Again, 70 base attack over 100 base special attack. You know, I probably won't run Leech Life. I'll probably run Giga Drain instead, but it is something to note. Knockoff for the recovery, like we talked about. It is a good Pursuit Trapper, which is cool. Quick Attack for the priority. It does get reliable recovery with Recover, which is something nice to know. Signal Beam, another good stab move. Bug Buzz, probably preferred. Sludge Bomb, good to have. Spikes and Toxic Spikes are 2 really good items, or 2 good moves to have right here. Being able to hazard stack with Uxie and Piloswine's rocks, as well as the webs that we do have on Araquanid, which is really, really cool. U-turn also for the momentum could be very nice. Raising the defense by 2, being able to Baton Pass and Acid Armor could be nice. Let me just double check here. Gastro Acid, nullifying the target's ability could be cool. Me First, copies a foe at 1 point times 5 power. User must be faster. With the speed we already have, Me First could definitely do something. Power Swap. Water Shuriken, hits 2 to 5 times in 1 turn. Water Shuriken, also a priority move. And then Yawn puts target to sleep after a turn. So Venoshock also pairing with Toxic Spikes could be really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it used. Like I said, we're going to switch in and out Pokemon each week and see how they do. I really think Shuriken does have a lot of niche potential on our team. I think it does do really well in League format, given where it's at. I'm really looking forward to using it. Now, we don't have too much hazard removal on the team. We have Commander right now with Defog, and that's about it. So I wanted to grab a spinner, and coming all the way back, I was really shocked that this far in the draft, one of the best spinners I feel like was still around. Longlegs the Hitmonlee is here. He is here. He is now. The Limber ability cannot be paralyzed. Reckless Pokemon's attacks with recoil or crash damage have an extra 20% power. And Unburden, another Unburden user, similar to the Excelgor. Speed is doubled on held item loss. 120 attack, 87 speed, 110 special defense. So let's go ahead and talk about Hitmonlee. Very reliable rapid spinner. Very solid physical threat. Can set up a variety of moves. Does also have a variety of physical coverage, which you can talk about right now. Blaze Kick, Brick Break can set up with Bulk Up. Priority and Bullet Punch. Close combat is always a devastating move to have. Detect, as opposed to Protect, could be really cool. Earthquake, Facade priority, or not Facade, Fake Out priority. Facade is also cool in case we do get burned or toxic or paralyzed if we're not running Limber. Fake Out for the priority, like I said. Z Focus Punch could always be absolutely devastating. Frustration. High Jump Kick. Knockoff for the utility is incredible. Low Kick for those pesky heavier Pokemon. Mach Punch for the priority. We have priority and Bullet Punch, Fake Out, and Mach Punch now. Poison Jab could be really nice against grass types and fairy types that otherwise kind of sit in front of this thing. Power Up Punch for setting up could be cool. It's a solid Pursuit Trapper. We talked about its ability as a Rapid Spinner as well, freeing the users from hazards, Partial Trap, and Leech Seed, being able to remove any hazards that are there in case we don't feel like running Defog on our commander. Refresh. User cures its burn, poison, or paralysis. That's really cool. Rock Slide is good coverage to have. Stone Edge is good coverage to have. Sucker Punch priority. Four terms of priority with this thing, which is a monster. Superpower as well. Good Toxic User. Bounce. Z Bounce on Hitmonlee could be really cool. Counter on Hitmonlee. What else do we got? Jump Kick instead of High Jump Kick. 95% accurate move for that decrease in 30 power. Natural Gift could be cool. Rock Tomb for speed control. Vacuum Wave, special priority too. Work Up. I don't know. Those are just some other moves that are there that could be a little bit useful. So Hitmonlee is going to be really cool. We do see our second instance of doubling up with types right now. With Scrafty being a fighting type and now Hitmonlee being a fighting type, but I don't really see Scrafty and Hitmonlee. Same thing with like Excelgor and Araquanid. I don't see either of them coming on the same team the same week, depending on the matchup. I could be wrong, obviously, but I think that they are both types that do serve their own purposes in those formats, which is really, really cool. Next up here, fast electric types are always coveted, and we're running out of monster grabs. So it was either what was it? It was either Zangoose and Electros, I believe, were the other mons that I was going to grab for the last wheel, but Zangoose was grabbed right beforehand. And I really thought Electros would benefit with speed control and with the potential for Trick Room. But fast electric types are cool, so I went with Mystery Weesnaw, the Zebstrika. She has the Lightning Rod ability, which draws electric moves to itself, raises special attack by 1. Also has Motor Drive, so depending on the week, we could run either Lightning Rod or Motor Drive or Sap Sipper if there's a powerful, like a Mega Venusaur or something. When we've got Sap Sipper Zebstrika. So we can talk a little bit about its stats right here. 100 attack, 80 special attack, 116 speed. A really good speed tier, I feel. Its moveset is a little lackluster, which is why I feel like it's all the way down in tier 5. Agility, Discharge, Flame Charge for the speed. Can set up light screen, I should say. Has access to Overheat. It is a Pursuit Trapper. Does have priority and quick attack. Signal Beam, Thunderbolt, and Thunderwave are cool. Volt Switch for the turn momentum, pairing off of things like U-Turn with Uxie, pairing off a U-Turn with things like Excelgor as well. Being able to Volt Switch around is really nice. Wild Charge, base 90 move, has a quarter recoil, but it does take advantage of that 100 attack stat, especially if we do get a Sap Sipper boost. Could be really, really cool. Hidden Powers you typically see on there. Magnet Rise could be a cool move. Like I said, it's really more of a niche Pokemon. Typically, like fast electric Pokemon like Raikou, Thundurus, all that good stuff, you'll see a little bit more diversity in their moveset. But Zebstrika really does what I want fast electric types to do, is to zip around, I really just want it to click Volt Switch and Thunderbolt and coverage moves until the team is weak for something else to set up. So I thought Zebstrika did well. I thought Zebstrika was a really, really cool Pokemon to have. Thought it really well. Thought it fit really well with the team. Giving us another electric immunity could be very, very nice because electric obviously does hinder the Celesteela and the Araquanid as well. Last up on the team, a Pokemon that I've been told to use in League formats several times. Shout out to my boy Kelly. Shout out to my boy T-Train as well. They have both told me about this Pokemon before, and I'm really looking forward to it. It was either Zangoose or Linoon here. So we have Pinstripe the Linoon. 100 base speed, 70 base attack. Does have the Pick Up, Gluttony, and Quick Feet ability. I really drafted this thing for Belly Drum Extreme Speed. Gluttony with the new berries could be really cool. Belly Drum with the new berries is also really cool. Belly Drum, Gluttony, New Berry, Extreme Speed. That's what I see. First move right there, Belly Drum. Body Slam, Double Edge, Extreme Speed, Facade, Gunk Shots, Hone Claws, Play Rough, another Pursuit Trapper, Seed Bomb, Shadow Claw, Stomping Tantrum, Super Fang. It gets Surf and Thunder Wave. I mean, come on. Switcheroo Linoon. Come on. Blizzard. I mean, its special attack set isn't too crazy. But this is Iron Tail. I mean, it's just more of a Pokemon that I wanted to grab just in case I could pull something off with it. I've told I should grab it every now and then. Last overall Pokemon, I felt like it's valued higher in this league simply because of, I feel like, access to the Belly Drum with the Gluttony and the new berries. But I hope I can use it. At some point. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Pinstripe can do for the team. It does give us a Ghost immunity on the team, which is really nice because Ghost Stab does kind of mess us up a little bit. with Gengar and Cortex, and our immunities aren't really that many. So having a normal type for that ghost immunity is really nice. All that being said, that is our team. That is season 4 of the NPA. Your Detroit type Nulls, Unleash the Beast, are coming for the championship, baby. Let me know if you guys want some merch in the comment section down below. If you guys want it, cool. If you guys don't want it, cool as well. No sweat off my back if you want it. Team builders will go up every Friday. Battles will go up every Saturday. Next week, your Detroit type Nulls are going up against former NPA Season 3 champions, A-Drive and the Minnesota Vikavolt. I have always found it coincidental that I play Dan every week, one of the league that we're in, but I'm so looking forward to it. If you guys are, show some love on the like button down below. Again, if you're new, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. All that being said, I want to remind you guys to be great and do great. I'm going to let this outro bang. I'm going to talk to y'all soon. Later.